Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. In today's review we're going to be taking a look at Oninaki, developed by Tokyo RPG Factory and published by Square Enix. Oninaki is a 3D action JRPG that will place you in the shoes of a watcher. Now the watcher's missions are to make sure that the dead pass across to the other side and reincarnate into their next life. And even though this is not actually confirmed, like even in the game they don't actually know if this actually happens 100%, they will do everything possible to do this even though they are enemies. Now since we're talking about the story, I just want to point out that the story is definitely one of the best parts of this game. It goes quite deep into life and death, as you can probably guess, since what the Watchers do. And it can get really quite emotional at times. You may even find yourself in tears, and I'm talking from personal experience. And even though it's not your typical JRPG where you have like 20 people following you around talking to you all the time, and it's just you fusioned with one of 10 demons, it actually does a good job of keeping the game and the story alive. And it also does feel that this game does slightly go into topics that other games may not dare to. Like there are some pretty strong and deep feelings in the story of this game, and that's definitely what makes it what it is. The other strong part of this game is the battle system and how customizable everything is. In Oninaki, your character alone is basically useless. Like you can't even jump if you don't have a demon by your side. All you can do is literally just walk. So you have to rely on having a demon to fight beside you, or it kind of fusions with you. Now there are multiple demons in this game, a total of 10 if you find them all, each with their own fighting style. None of them have a repeat weapon, so each and every one does have a completely unique style, which is really good. And alongside this, they have their own skill trees, their own abilities, and like it's not just like, oh, a little skill tree of this little demon you've caught. To be honest, just one demon skill tree and number of abilities is good enough for one playthrough. Matter of fact, my first playthrough I basically just maxed out one of the demons, and it felt like a pretty decent game with enough abilities, passives and customization for a whole playthrough. And then there's another 9 with completely unique playstyles, abilities and weapons, so there's definitely replayability in this game. However, you are supposed to play with more than one, and you can have up to 4 equipped in the party at the same time that you can change to mid-battle, though it does take a bit of time to change, at least until you get certain passives or use those demons a certain amount of time. But, you know, thanks to being able to swap mid-battle, the possibilities are absolutely endless. Like, just one of them can have up to 10 abilities, and then each one of those abilities can have different passives on them. Each of them have their own lore and own story to tell the more you use them, and there's just endless possibilities in this aspect of the game. The only bad thing I did see in the combat is that some enemies, sometimes it just seems like they stand and watch. Like, I'm not saying that the game's easy. Matter of fact, the post-game, when you're around level 99 and the screen absolutely fills up with enemies, is actually quite a challenge sometimes. But sometimes just there's a massive group of enemies. Some of the enemies just don't really do anything. And like, if you focus your vision on just one of them, you can tell this really easily. I mean, it does feel amazing when there's like 20 enemies and you absolutely wipe them all out with one ability. But it's just kind of a bit weird when you can just watch them do absolutely nothing for the most part. And sadly, this AI does apply to some of the bosses. I mean, I really like the design of the bosses, but sometimes it just feels like they throw their attacks all over the place. Like, they don't really take into account where the player is, and sometimes it will make the boss battles really easy, especially when the battlefield is quite large and you can get behind them. Now, exploration is another weak point in Oninaki. Normally in JRPGs you'll have like a ton of shops, blacksmiths and all that, and just a ton of things to do in the hub area. And though there are a few side quests to be found around the world, in Oninaki there is literally just one shop that will take care of leveling up your weapons, equipping new stones to the weapons, and crafting new items. And that's it. Like, in Oninaki there only is really one item that you can use, which is a healing potion, and those will drop from enemies just like pretty much everything else. The weapons, the stone that upgrades your weapons, and even the stones to level up your demon skill tree, they all drop from enemies. And the only unique thing that you can possibly find around the map are the demons themselves, and they really aren't that hidden. You can see them pop up on the mini-map if you're paying attention. As far as graphics go, I really do like the art style. The environments look absolutely amazing, as well as the enemies and the character models. The only time the characters don't look that great is when, you know, you've got like a cutscene or you get a close-up of them, but I think it's almost intentionally and doesn't really bother me, since it does feel like it just fits in with the game's art style. The music is quite good, nothing that will stand out that much. The voices are very good, even though there's no English dub, so if you don't know Japanese you will have to read through it all. And with all that said, I really did enjoy Oninaki enough to go through the post-game 101 leveled palace to fight the secret boss at the end, and get all the way up to level 99. So from me, it's going to be an 8 out of 10. Oninaki is now available for PS4, Nintendo Switch, and PC. Hopefully this review is helpful, guys. If it was, please go like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.